Okay, Mr. Trevor Phipps of UNEARTH, how's it going, man? Great to have you here in
Well,
Puerto Metal.
thanks for having me. Doing well.
Absolutely, a pleasure having you here today. Okay, first things first, Mexican tour coming up. You'll be performing at Ciudad de Mexico, Tattoo Music Fest in Guadalajara and Monterrey. How are you looking forward to the tour?
Very much looking forward to it. We haven't done a proper tour of Mexico since 2007. We did Domination Festival in 2019, which was the first time back in 12 years. And that was unreal. We had a great time. I actually got to see the city. So our first time, we didn't get to see much of the city. This time we got to see a little bit, go to some restaurants and craft beer bars and just kind of check it out a bit more. And the fest was amazing. So we're looking forward to getting back to the club scene on this tour.
Sure. I had seen footage of the Domination Festival, and I was going to ask if you had been in several cities of Mexico previously. I couldn't find that up to 2007. You told me, right?
Yeah, 2007, I believe.
How was that? How was it like? How many cities did you get to visit that time?
Same three cities we're doing
Okay.
this run. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I remember the show in Mexico City was the biggest show, but the other two were great as well. So yeah, we're happy to come back after such a long layoff.
Absolutely. How was that show at the Domination Festival like?
It was awesome, and we didn't expect it to be as good as it was because we were going head to head with our friends in Black Dahlia Murder. Our bands both came up together to a certain extent, so it was a bummer we didn't get to see them and play at the same time. And we share, not exactly the same fan base, but I think there's a lot of crossover there. So we weren't sure how it was going to be, but it was awesome. I guess there was enough people there for both bands to have a good show.
Absolutely. How do you recall the Mexican audience or the Latin American audience? I mean, how was your interaction with the public the times you were around there?
Very passionate, a lot of fun. That show, it was a party. People circle pitting, moshing, crowd surfing. I think I posted a video. The guy that was holding the beer tray walked right through our circle pit. It was funny to see.
Amazing. Actually, well, you're playing both festivals and headlining shows this time. Well, you'll be the headliners of the Tattoo Music Fest as well, but whatever. Which one of these two events do you prefer? Everyone has a preference when it comes to festivals or maybe club shows, more intimate shows, maybe. Do you have a preference of yourself?
I mean, it's really tough to say. I like both, to be honest. They're both different animals entirely. If you're playing in front of a big crowd and they're really into it, then you get a certain level of adrenaline playing in front of a sea of people that are having a great time. But there's something extra special about playing a small packed room where it's your fan base. So if let's say it's our headlining show and it's packed to the gills, and the ceiling is sweating because it's such a party. There's something that really elevates you a little extra in that environment. So I have to say that is the one, but still, I love festivals as well. I mean, it's just a pleasure to get to play and do this. This is our 24th year, so I'm really excited that we get to come back to Mexico and
awesome. When it comes to club shows, maybe you're certain that all of those people are fans of your music,
right?
Like diehard fans, maybe.
And it's fun. That's why I do like festivals, because it is a challenge. You might have your fans there and people who know your songs, but you're there to also impress other people and turn these people into potentially new fans, and just to kind of grow your audience.
Yes. Now going to this Mexican run, you'll be doing only shows in Mexico this time. Did you speak about the possibility of doing a full Latin American tour, or that was not in the plans in this occasion?
We're always asking about that, and we have a few promoters that have been talking to us and our agent as well to try and make this happen. But we're really trying to do a full tour. And our record comes out, I believe, in May.
Nice.
April and May, and so we're looking to come back probably later in the year, maybe in 2024 for a full Latin American tour.
Sounds good. Awesome. Now, I've seen you've been doing shows since 2021 after the pandemic break, of course. How was it coming back to the stage after, this big break that everyone had?
We missed it. We knew we missed it, but it didn't really hit us how much we missed it until we were on tour for about a week. So rewind to 2021, we played a few shows. It was great. It was awesome to be back. It was a lot of fun, but it wasn't a tour. This summer, we toured for 3.5 weeks in Europe, and I think we didn't realize how much we missed being on tour because it had been so long. And so maybe the break did us well, because towards the end of the last album cycle, before we toured right up to the pandemic, maybe certain guys got burnt out a little bit, and we've had a couple of changes of members since then. Things weren't feeling that great, but the summer it felt renewed. It felt fun again. It felt, not that it wasn't fun, but it felt more fun than it has felt in a long time. And so the vibe out there this summer was excellent. And it carried on through September, and now we take a short break, and now we're going back out again. So
Nice.
it looks like touring is going to be ramping up a lot with Mexico. Then we have a few shows in the States at the end of December, and then we just announced Australia for January. So we're starting to tour a lot.
Nice. Glad to see you're hitting the road again. Intense. Yeah. So, Trevor, when you released your latest album, Extinctions, I remember that you stated in an interview that those were songs more intended to perform live rather than Watches of Rule, were a bit more technical, maybe. So, diving a bit more into this new album of yours that you told me will come out in May, knowing the big scope of sound that UNEARTH has had in its career, what are you aiming for with your next record at a sound level?
We pushed ourselves in different directions on this record a bit. You can tell it's UNEARTH. All our records sound like UNEARTH, but we tried to add different flavors on each one. Buzz wrote all of the riffs on this record, and so he challenged himself to be a different guitar player. So I'm not even sure there's one sweep, and that's kind of one of his things that he does, is the sweep. So he tried to change kind of the pattern of how he writes music. He tried to get out of his comfort zone, and he had a lot of time to do it during the pandemic, and he challenged himself. And his playing and writing on this record is so spectacular that it made me become a better singer, a better vocalist, because I heard these songs and I was like, this can't be a regular UNEARTH record. I have to do something extra here. And it really inspired me to focus on different ranges. I have this mic in my interface, and I would practice and just try to do different pitches and different tones. And I've added a couple cleans, which it's not a pop clean. I'm just trying different modes with my voice to try to add dynamic to this record, because Buzz went so far above and beyond with writing.
So how did that push you exactly? I mean, do you read like kind of a riff pushes you to do something different, or like an atmosphere in a song? How can you give me an example of that?
So the songs hit me in such a way, and that I was like, this can't have this style of vocal here. I need to do something different. So there's for instance, I'm hitting highs in this record that I'm never even hit or close to before. Okay. Because the music calls for it. And so when I get a song from Buzz, I'll write to it. I'll hear the vocal patterns in my head, then I'll write them down, and then I'll perform them the best I can in the studio. But what I was hearing when he gave me these songs was stuff that I've never done before. I'm like, I'm hearing this, so I need to perform this. So I would have to practice and just really get my voice in the right place. And also working with Will Putney, the engineer and producer, he helped me get there too. He's a great coach, and so we were in there in the studio, and he really pushed me hard, and I'm really happy with this record.
Awesome. Have you got any estimate of when we will get to hear the first song or something, or not yet?
Talking with Century Media last week or two, it looks like mid to late January we might drop a single. That's not concrete because a lot of factors like artwork that play into that, but that's the goal, is sometime in January. And once it's out with the video, or out on the internet, we'll probably start playing a song live then. But before then, we're probably gonna continue to play the set that we've been playing. But next year we'll be full bore with the new songs and album.
Okay. A couple of moments ago, you told me that when you listen to UNEARTH music, you can tell when that's the band that's playing. And each of every album of yours was really groundbreaking. I think some landmark, metalcore albums, more melodic death metal ones, hardcore as well. What would you say are those main trademarks that UNEARTH has got to its music that you can instantly tell it's you?
I think it's the melodic guitars, dual guitars mixed with the American heavy hardcore meets thrash metal meets European influence. I think these are the main things that are that define Unearth. And back when we started, that wasn't really a mix that you would do. You wouldn't mix At the Gates and In Flames with Hatebreed, Crisis, and then Pantera and Testament.
Yeah.
That's all over the place now, of course, but bands, that wasn't a sound at the time. And there were other bands like Shadows Fall that came out around the same time as us, but our bands are on the cusp of this mixing of sounds, because it's the bands that we all grew up listening to and were influenced by. So it's basically just a melting pot of us as young kids being fans, hearing this, digesting it, and then writing songs like this. And that's how music is written. That's how music is pushed and boundaries are pushed. But that's what our sound is, and that's how I would define it.
Yeah, some of those bands you mentioned, Shadows Fall and a couple of other ones, were, and you as well, were at times put together in this new wave of American heavy metal kind of name. I was always kind of surprised by that catalog or music genre, because it encompasses a lot of stuff. I mean, are you okay with people naming the band like that, or do you prefer like simply metal or something?
It seems to vary with time. I know that in the mid to late 2000s, when the sound, there's so many bands that were coming out that were influenced by Unearth and Killswitch and Shadows Fall and Lamb of God, that the term metalcore became a dirty word.
Yeah.
You labeled that in the media, and even fans were like, "Oh, they're metalcore."
Yeah.
But it didn't matter, because metalcore bands, that's a very broad term now.
Yeah, sure.
They are some of the biggest bands in heavy music now. You see bands like Parkway Drive, enormous in Europe. Heaven Shall Burn is enormous in Europe as well. And just it translates worldwide. Architects, massive band. August Burns Red, huge. And these are metalcore bands. So it's not a dirty word, and it's sometimes tough to try to pigeonhole a band in a certain genre, especially bands that have so many records that do change, like us. Each record's a little bit different. You can tell it's Unearth, but we try to add different flavors in each one. So it's tough to call us a metalcore band or a new wave of American metal band. We're a metal band, a metal band. Definitely not bland.
Almost, but no.
A metal band with a lot of different influences, and hardcore is a big part of it.
Yeah, sure.
The term metalcore to me is funny now, because there's a lot of bands that are labeled metalcore or call themselves metalcore, but there's no hardcore in them at all. It's melodic metal with some pop parts. So that's not me talking shit on them. I think the term metalcore is too convoluted now. So yeah, we play heavy music and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, great. Trevor, concerning important records of the band, I think few people can deny that The Oncoming Storm was an amazing boost for you guys. I've seen your latest set list, and most of the songs you play are of that album as well. How do you think that album stood the test of time? I mean, would you maybe say that it's the most important album of your career, or are you maybe saying that the latest one is the best? How do you look back to that record in particular?
It's definitely the most important record in our career. We put out our first record in 2001 that got us going, Stings of Conscience, and it gave us, we got to Europe for the first time. But when that record hit, Oncoming Storm, it opened up so many doors for us for touring, and from that point on, we've been touring the world, and we've stayed consistent, putting out record after record that people care about. The follow-up record to that did really well as well, In the Eyes of Fire, which
your heaviest, yeah.
We're playing a lot of songs off that record as well, on our live show currently. A big part of that is because we have Mike Justin back in the band, who played on those two records. And those are the two he played on. So it makes sense to play more of those songs with him. But they're also very important records in our career. But we do try to put songs in the set from our whole catalog as well. We do have 7 records, 2 EPs.
Yeah.
We're even pulling out some deep tracks, like we're playing The Charm, which is off of the Endless EP, which came out in 2002. So it's you're just trying to mix it up and play songs. I mean, some songs people haven't heard in a long time as well. So it's we're having fun doing it, and the set list is going over very well, and looking forward to playing it down.
So can the Mexican audiences expect like that mixture of all your career?
Yep. Yeah. If anyone's gone on our socials and seen the set we played in Europe, it's probably going to be exactly the same that we played in Europe as well.
That's a good one. Yeah, I've seen it. So
Yeah.
awesome. Now it's almost 25 years for the band at this point. Next year you have the anniversary, I think, 7 albums in. I know this is kind of a cliche question, but how do you look back to that, and how are you looking to the future? Like,
we'll be excited to release our 8th record in the 25th year.
right.
So I was actually thinking earlier today about that. Like, are we going to do a 25th anniversary tour, or are we going to stay focused on pushing?
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's kind of it's an interesting conundrum to be in. Maybe we can kind of marry the two. But yeah, I mean, it's 25 years, and of course, when we started the band, we didn't know. Our intention was to go as long and as we could, and push the band to be as big as we could be, and that's still the intention. But I'll just say we feel very fortunate to have had a career this long, and done as well as we have, and seen the amount of places and made as many friends as we have around the world. And we look forward to doing that for a long time to come. And I think this new record is going to really cement us as help even cement us further as a band that's here for a long time.
Awesome. Well, congratulations first of all, and looking forward to listening to that record. And I hope we can chat again when the album comes out, or maybe before.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, sorry.
I would love to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Me too. So Trevor, thank you very much for your time today. And I would like to know if you got any final words for your Mexican fans that will be just in a couple of days meeting with you guys in concerts.
We very much look forward to seeing you all, having fun at every show. It'll be a party. We're going to throw down. We hope you all do as well. And see you soon.
Okay, man. Thank you very much for your time. All the success for the Mexican shows.
Just
okay.
see you then.
See you. Bye.